I hate life. Why must life be so unfair? Why are all the bad things happening to me? If only life is fair, I wouldn't have to go through such misery. Ladies and gentlemen, have thoughts like this ever went through your mind? Our thoughts get irrational whenever all the bad things, the catastrophic things we could never imagine, strikes us all at once. Our thoughts get irrational, and these questions start to pop up. That is where we go through the stage of denial. Imagine your friend suddenly approaches you and he asks, "Are you okay? Do you want to do something that can cheer you up, like maybe go to karaoke, drawing, hanging out, whatever?" Will you accept the offer? Or maybe your father comes to cheer you up with some dry dead jokes you know we'll always laugh at. "Son, you know about the new movie called Constipation?" Of course not. It never came out. Will you laugh at the dry joke? Or maybe your mother actually offers you, "They are still upset, or until when you want to be upset? Anyway, you want to have your favorite croissant in town? I'm going out together with my friends. Haven't met for 20 years already, lor. You want to?" Will you accept your mother's offer? Based on the given questions, how many amount of no did you answer? If there is none, then good for you. But if you did answer no at least just once, there's something that we need to change in your perspective. During our hard times, we have the tendency to think that we do not deserve any slightest bit of happiness at all. We think that showing just a tiny bit of happiness is such a huge burden, like laughing at the silly dry dead jokes just now about the constipation one. We choose to actually wear such a grumpy face, a face so wrinkled, that people will call you Atik, Armah, Akong. Isn't that so scary? But little do you know, what's scarier is that such a grumpy face you choose to wear can actually affect someone else around you. Did you know about that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you, this is what we call as emotional contagion. With that such wrinkled face, did you know that you can actually affect someone else around you? Did you? Maybe not, maybe yes. It could affect everyone, especially your close ones, your brother, your father, your mother, or your best friend, anyone, your close ones. But just because we feel that that day is the worst day to ever exist, it doesn't mean that we should fan all of our negative energy to people around us. It's toxic. This phenomena is what we call as emotional contagion. This emotional contagion has occurs in many situations, all ages. I've heard, seen tragic stories about parents who decided to let out their burden at work to the children at home, which later grew to be mentally ill. Or just recent stories about bullying, which led to a lot of people, even primary kids, can you imagine? Primary kids who went to suicide. This phenomena is what we call as the emotional contagion. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to talk about two things. First of all, is about the destructive side of our mind. There are the 3 P's that I like to talk about. And second of all, is how we utilize this emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is not forever about the bad things. And it might sound complicated, but let me make it simple for you. Emotional contagion is as simple as how viruses spread. Like when you're having flu, someone around you might have flu as well. When you are feeling depressed, someone around you might feel depressed as well. But it is not forever all about the bad news. we are able to make a change. So, first of all, let's talk about the 3P, the destructive side of our mind. The first P is what we call as personalization. Personalization is the moment we feel that every mistake in our life is our own to blame. We blame ourselves. We keep on blaming ourselves. We keep on blaming fate. We keep on blaming everything around us, as long as ourselves is still on fault. This personalization actually relates a lot with me. I used to be a perfectionist. I blame myself over the mistakes I know that I can never control. But one day, I started to realize that thinking about the mistakes I've done in the past, contemplating about them over and over again, it's useless. In order for myself to not be a perfectionist, I hold on to 3 principles in my life. As long as I devote myself fully enough, it's enough. As long as I feel a minuscule amount of improvement every day, it's enough. As long as I take a step forward and not be afraid with the consequences, it's enough. Making mistakes is a part of our life. We have to learn to accept it. But ladies and gentlemen, why was I afraid of doing mistakes? I believe we are all the same. We are afraid of the consequences that could happen to us. We are afraid of it haunting our dreams, that we could not get a good night's sleep. But I believe in life, we should learn to accept that consequences as well. We have to take a step forward. We have to look forward in our life. That life is not all about success. It could be also about how many times we get up after falling to the pit of failure. The second P is what we call as pervasiveness. Pervasiveness is the moment when you associate one problem with another problem, and it just goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine you are actually having a competition. You work so hard for it, but at the end, you lost. A new problem is it? You lost the competition. And your pervasiveness is when your mind started thinking, I'm such a failure. Will this affect my future education? Am I going to be successful in life? Am I going to be this? Am I going to be that? In simple words, you started overthinking about your future that has no connection with it at all. Maybe you just have a short connection, but not that serious, not as exaggerating as it is. And the last P, the third P, is what we call as permanence. Permanence is the mindset of you thinking that this problem will never be solved, that no one will be able to put you out of this misery, not even yourself, not even your parents. This is the most fatal of all. You started thinking of the if-only scenarios. If-only scenarios. The if-only scenarios is something like this. If only life is fair, I wouldn't have to go through such misery. If only I'm born in a rich family. If only I'm born smart enough. If only I'm this. If only I'm that. If only I'm this. Isn't that too fatal? You started blaming the fate. You started complaining and not solving your problem. Little do you know that 10% of our problem is the problem itself. And 90% of our problem is how we react to the problem. Blaming fate has never been a solution. So ladies and gentlemen, let us take a step forward. Try to avoid this 3P mindset because it's very destructive. It's very harmful. And when we came to realize how much destructive it is, I believe it's time to help other souls in life. It's time for us to reach out your hands to help people that did not realize about how fatal this destructive side of our mind is. Maybe your close friend does not know about this. Maybe your parents does not know about this. It's time for you to help them. Life is never without problems. There are always problems in life. So reach out your hands. Help people around you. How do we help them? Is the problem. We do not really know how to help them. But we can actually help them by just using a smile on your face. It might seem ridiculous. It might seem having only a small impact, but actually it mattered a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Do you dare to talk with your parents having this such grumpy face? Maybe not, right? But when you use this face, maybe people can approach you much more easily. So wear a smiley face. It might be hard, but it is very impactful towards the people around you. Wear a smile on your face. Talk to them. Listen to their stories. Encourage them to strive forward. And when you can do that, you have helped another soul. Maybe in life, there are little to no people who wish to help you, who wants to help you. But ladies and gentlemen, let us be that person to help the people. Let's not hope for the return because it's just going to disappoint us. Let's help people around us. Let's be the first person to reach out your hands. People will feel very appreciated if you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of problems. But allow that tiny bit of happiness, even though it's hard. Smile. Spread the positive energy. Spread happiness and not sadness. Spread positivity and not toxicity. So tackle the 3 P's of our mindset. Let's repeat together. The first P is what we call as the personalization. The second P is what we call as the pervasiveness. And the third P is what we call as permanence. Let's tackle our destructive mindset and help the people around us. Spread your positive energy. Even though life is full of problems, I, Grisvian Tandy, am proud to say that I love my life no matter what happened to me. I love my life even though I'm going through such misery. But I still am willing to help other people around me. And I hope you do too. Thank you so much for listening.